when these like child superstars, they do something so amazing like the Harry Potter series. It's not fair to be like, can you continue this ride? Because you can't.
You essentially have to like throw all that shit aside and just do indie movies and critical acclaimed movies for
Until it
like
hits.
5, 10 years until people are like, oh, you know what's his face? He's actually a serious actor. You do some theater in England or Broadway, and people are like, yo, that dude's a fucking thespian. Uh, we already talked about it. Chris Columbus did the first two. Cuarón famously did the third one. And then I think the rest were all David Yates. And then he moved on to do the spin-offs too. These two are a bit different visual style, a little bit more cheerful, a little bit brighter than the next couple. Cuarón really changes it up.
Yeah, he does.
And
It's noticeable, but not so noticeable where you're like, this is a different series.
by the time you get to like 6, 7, 8, they like take
that shit's-
Cuarón's and then they fucking just like flatten it and make it mute.
Yeah.
And like the colors are just so gray and dark. But yeah, on a cheerful note, Chris Columbus did the first two. The budget was 125 million. It made $1 billion. So
Amazing.
hit right off the bat.
2001,
Hit
that's
right off the bat.
unheard of. Yeah.
81% Rotten Tomatoes, so critical acclaim. What more can you say? It's the biggest franchise or one of the biggest franchises of our lifetime. Cast pretty stacked, unknown at the time. I mean, the first three because they're kids: Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Grint, Richard Harris played Dumbledore. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
They all did kind of different things afterwards. Rupert Grint's kind of just on TV.
I was about to ask you, what has Rupert Grint done? Ron Weasley, for those who aren't aware, because I really haven't seen him in much, and it's hard to like. When these like child superstars, they do something so amazing like the Harry Potter series, it's not fair to be like, can you continue this ride? Because you can't, because it's the biggest franchise, like you said, of generation.
I just think you got to go back all the way to the beginning. Like, what's his face did a really good job.
Radcliffe.
No.
Who?
Twilight guy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But they kind of did the same thing.
Okay, I see.
And so did What's Her Face in Twilight. You essentially have to like throw all that shit aside and just do indie movies and critical acclaimed movies
until
for
it
like
hits.
5, 10 years until people are like, oh, you know what's his face? He's actually a serious actor.
If I had a steak, oh boy, a rare, a bloody steak. If I had a steak, I would fuck it.
And then you can go right back to being like in bullshit movies and no one gives a shit. But if you try to go right from like Twilight to action movies like Taylor Lautner and Taylor Kitsch and all these guys, if that shit doesn't pop off immediately, then all of a sudden you're like you're a kids actor trying to do action movies and it don't hit.
It doesn't hit. And the worst part is, go ahead.
Whereas if you do those indie movies, no one even expects them shits to make money.
Exactly. And if it does, when it does, then they're like, oh, okay, so they can actually act. Because you're right. Like, if you are a director, it's like, I'm trying to build this picture, and then everyone is going to be looking at this dude as Harry Potter. They're not going to be looking at this person as the character in my movie. No one's going to take Rupert seriously in my movie. They're going to think of him as Ron Weasley, which is going to be taking away from my movie. So, like, I definitely understand. It's a really good point. And I think the Twilight actors probably have done it the best.
Emma Watson's done a pretty good job too, because she did like Bling Ring. She did like Perks of Being a Wallflower. Smaller movies, got critical acclaim. Then she just went back and made a $400 million domestic fucking smash with Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And she did Little Women with Greta Gerwig. That made a bunch of money. And, goes right back off. And you can just hang out with then. Daniel Radcliffe's been doing some weird, like, Akimbo, and he was just in Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Do I know you?
That's what he just did. He's on theater. That's another good one. You do some theater in England or Broadway, and people are like, yo, that dude's a fucking thespian. Maggie Smith played Professor McGonagall, everyone's favorite teacher. She's a beast. Downton Abbey, that's where you can catch her. I once saw the Downton Abbey movie. Actually, I think I saw Downton Abbey 2 in theaters. I've never watched the show, and I've never seen any of the movies. I was the only person under 45, 50.
Lord. So I watched the first Downton Abbey movie, and I really enjoyed it, even without knowing anything about the show, which made me want to watch the show. But they have like 9 seasons, and I can't dedicate that much time to it.
She was in Gosford Park, which I really like.
What movie? What show?
Gosford Park. Gosford Park's a movie.
Okay.
It's a murder mystery in the old British Downton Abbey style. So if you like Knives Out, but want it to be more serious and less fucking everyone's got jokes, and you actually just want a straight up like murder mystery movie, watch Gosford Park because it's really good.
I got it on the list.
Harry Melling, who is Dudley. He's probably the most prolific actor now out of all.
Wait, shut the fuck up. Please do me a favor and go down his filmography because that blows my mind because I don't know what he looks like as an adult.
You know what he looks like as an adult. You've just seen him, and you've seen him in. Have you seen The Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The Queen's Gambit. Oh my god.
He plays Harry Betlick.
Oh my goodness, Dudley with the fucking glow up.
Yeah, and then I just watched him in The Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale. On Netflix. The Tragedy of Macbeth, Say Your Prayers, The Devil All the Time.
Good for Dudley. That actually makes me happy.
Yeah. The Lost City of Z, The Current War. So he's been pretty prolific. And then Robbie Coltrane, he was in an Ocean's movie, and he's a James Bond guy from The World Is Not Enough. Alan Rickman, everyone knows him. Hans Gruber.
Of course.
Die Hard, legend.
Legend.
R.I.P.